Yeah, I want to switch gears a little bit to talk about the supplement, Naturally Man supplement, because the origin of this actually starts with you. You and a friend of mine named Darian, you guys were really instrumental in this development of this idea. And I remember talking to you about this, and actually I was talking to him too, and he's just like, man, like you've got something here with, all the natural ways to help with erectile health, all these foods and suggestions that you're giving men, like you should really think about doing something more with that. And there was a conversation I had with you, like, this is great, man, but you need something else. Do you remember that? Do you remember
I do.
that?
Absolutely.
Yes. And so it's like, and I never thought about it, honestly. Like I thought I'm just going to give some health advice and some health hacks. But then as we talked, it just made more sense. It's like, if people don't eat right every day, and it's hard to eat right every day, it's hard to get the right nutrients. And some they're just hard to source in the grocery store. You just can't get it in your food. And so I think you said, what would you tell me? Let's think of a gummy. Was it a gummy or
Yeah, it was yummy. Yeah.
okay, a gummy. Okay. So I was thinking gummy or a smoothie or something like that. And so it really got my wheels turning. And I said, well, listen, I didn't even know it was possible. Honestly, I just said, if I could pick the best ingredients, no matter where they came from in the world, I put a wish list, my dream team of ingredients. And because I'm a urologist and I treat men for erectile dysfunction, I treat them for low testosterone, I treat them for prostate issues. In my mind, I wanted something that addressed all of them and gave energy, help with stress. And so I'm coming up with this wish list of things. And really the process was eye-opening just to understand how much food actually can heal. Came up with this wish list, and I think you were like, well, I know there's some companies that can put some stuff together. So you really did a lot of the legwork as far as finding a company. Talk about that on your end, how that was for you.
Well, I mean, it was just a blessing to be able to be a part of a vision that I just believed. I saw and heard something in you that I just wasn't gonna let go of. And
Mm.
I just believe in you at that moment, and to this day still believe in you and what you're here for and what you're supposed to be doing and what you're supposed to be. You're on a healing journey, and I believe that there was a part of you that, and I could hear it in some of our conversations, that wasn't quite satisfied, and you needed to find out how you could spread your wings and how you could reach more people, because there's something about you as a person and as a father and as a husband that understands that people are hurting, and you just refuse to sit back and watch them hurt. Sure, you can help them with ED and prostate health and all those things, and that's satisfying to you as a doctor, but I could just tell that there was something inside of you that wanted to make a difference. So for me, it was an honor
Oh my
to
goodness.
go full steam ahead and try to put this together. But I mean, it was your recipe, man. And I got to tell whoever's listening to this, you're the one. The funny story about me as a chef is, who would have thought I'd ever be a chef? I was the kid that wouldn't allow vegetables or meat on the same plate, right? You had to put, I was the kid that when we went to McDonald's as a young kid, we'd go to McDonald's and I'd have to have a plain hamburger, and we'd have to wait in the drive-through for 20 minutes so they had to make the fresh plain hamburger. I mean, it was, my
Oh
family was
wow.
crazy. Yeah, because
Oh wow.
I wouldn't eat anything else. And then for lunch, all the way up till I was probably 12, it was just peanut butter sandwiches on white bread and then peanut butter and jelly. I finally got the jelly. That was my big breakthrough. So who would have ever thought I'd become a chef, right?
Seriously.
And there were still things that I just wasn't introduced to, things that I had cooked with on many occasions, but never really felt the desire to eat. Now,
Hmm.
I'm not an egg eater, but
Mm.
I love making eggs. I mean, I was a
Mm.
breakfast cook for years when I was 16,
That's the
and loved
go-to
it,
though.
man.
That's the go-to. When you just starting out cooking breakfast
Yeah,
is a good
yeah,
place to
yeah, yeah.
start. Yep.
Loved it. But I don't enjoy eggs, so I haven't eaten eggs all my life. But I say all that to say that you're the one that said, we got to get some beets in there, man.
Yes.
I'm like, oh. what is he talking about?
Got to
And
get them.
you just really educated me on that. And it was a
Well,
fascinating.
that was yes, I mean, that was the number one ingredient that I had to start with was beets because you just look at all the good stuff it does for your brain health, to liver toxicity, to antioxidants, to energy, to athletic performance. I mean, you can go on and on.
Yeah.
It is truly a superfood. So that's really the basis for Naturally Man. I remember before I let you try it, I had some fails because I wanted to put omega-3 in there and for cholesterol and all that stuff. And so, man, the first batch was like, it was nasty. It tastes like fish. Like I was
That
like,
fish will take over.
I
I'll tell
can't
you,
even do it.
I know exactly what you're talking about because there was a time, a quick story, where I was on my long smoothie kick. I still 3 days a week, maybe now, but I was on 7 days a week smoothie first thing in the morning. One morning, I decided to put one of my fish oil pills inside of there
Ooh,
with the fruit and everything else, just thinking, I'll just kill two birds with one stone. Man, I took one sip of that smoothie. I
ruined the
could
whole
not
thing.
believe how much of the fish comes out. I mean, it's over.
It's awful.
Awful.
Like when you have to hold your nose and drink it, it's like, no, what's the point? So
Yeah.
quickly got rid of that and came up with actually flaxseed has omega-3s, so that was the substitute for that. I remember trying it for the first time, the second go around, and like, whoa, like this is good. Yeah. It's like, man, like, and I drank it. I felt great afterwards. I'm like, man, like, I think I got something here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I sent you a bottle to try. What was your first impression when you had Naturally Bad? What'd you
Uh,
think about
my first impression was my palate said, uh-uh.
it? Oh, really?
I mean, it was how do I explain it? It tasted fine. It wasn't bad.
Mhm.
It was the beats. My
Mm.
palate had not understood. I didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
And, but
Because I don't think the beats are that strong, but you have a very strong or sensitive, keen palate, I would say, right?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it hit me pretty strong. But
Hmm.
I think, and that was the first day. Then the second day, I said I just did a half a scoop just because I said I'm gonna keep trying this. By the end of the week, I was on. It was fine. My palate had adjusted. It was delicious.
Yes.
And so, I run through. I mean, I go through it.
You told me something that when you took it, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, and since then, other people have told me the same thing. And because I thought I was the only one, when I drink it, like, I just feel immediately better. Like, it's almost like, is this placebo? Like, what is this? Like, I just feel energized. There's something about it. I just feel clearer. And you mentioned something that to me after a couple of days of trying it, you were like, man, like, I really, I think it was your brain fog
Brain
had
fog,
like
brain fog,
gone
completely.
away.
I mean, just combination of energy and focus.
Mm,
And
mhm.
I don't think I've ever had any kind of supplement that was able to conquer both at the same time.
Wow.
Um, it was a tremendous breakthrough. I was like, and I was just like you, is this a mental mind game that I'm playing? Because,
Yeah, do I just want it to do it?
choose my man,
You're right.
or is this really working? And
Right.
day after day, man, it kept hitting. It kept hitting. I'm like, this is real.
Yes, yes. And the other benefits, like I was taking it and I'm just like, man, I'm waking up strong every morning. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
Got the blood flowing and man, got the energy going. And it's funny because I can't have nothing, man. Like my wife is like, "Oh, okay. Let me try it." So she started getting into it. Now she takes it faithfully every day. And it's funny, we were in Kansas City and she didn't think I brought any and she went on a run and she was like, "Why am I dragging? Like, why is this run so hard?" And she thought it was the heat or something I ate. And she was like, I didn't take the supplement. I didn't
Yep.
take it. So it makes a difference. I will not go a day without it because I know how I feel without it.
Yep.
And it's just not optimal. I don't know. I don't know if you feel the same way.
No, I do. I mean, it definitely, that's normal. You would know this as a doctor, but yeah, once you tease your body with something, I mean, it's looking for that, right?
Mm.
So, it's working, it's going through all the things it's going through, and then the next morning comes around, it's like, okay, what happened? Where's it feeding me? You know?
Well, well, let's be clear. There's nothing addictive
No, 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 no,
in
no.
it at all. But it is what is addictive. That's probably not the right word, but is the feeling when you're in tune with your body, you know kind of how it feels to operate at a high level, and you know what it feels like when you're not. You do have the cobwebs, things aren't clicking, and you're lacking energy to be productive. And for what I do, I have to have energy. I cannot. And so the difference between before and now, it's like I literally can't see myself going without it. Like you're right. It's almost like and the guys that appreciate that and see that, man, when they before they texted me like, "Can I get it overnighted?" Like I'm about to run out. It's so funny. They're sending me crack emojis or whatever. So but it really is. And so gratified to be able to produce something that is adding value not only to my life, but to yours and to other men and women and who are trying to eat healthy and be healthy. And I always say I'd never substitute a supplement for lifestyle and trying to eat right and exercise, and because you need all of those things, but at least you're getting the good stuff in every day. So yeah, man, that is tremendous. So that kind of transitioned to another one of the efforts that we are collaborating in, because I thought, man, it's one thing to have a supplement, but for some men that may not be enough, or they may not be getting the most out of it because of lifestyle. Kind of thought of what can I do to help support men who are taking the supplement, who are on this journey, who want to maximize their sexual health in a natural way. And so I came up with what I call tech support for the supplement, and that is the Woodsman Group. What can I do to help support men who are taking the supplement, who are on this journey, who want to maximize their sexual health in a natural way? And so I came up with what I call tech support for the supplement, and that is the Woodsman Group. And it's a program that deals with holistic sexual health. We talk about the physical part of sexual health, right? With diet, nutrition. There's also exercise involved with the physical part, but there's a mental part of sexual health that oftentimes is not addressed, but man, it can shut down the whole show. If your mental game is weak or damaged, yeah, try having an erection when you've got anxiety or stress.
Absolutely.
It won't happen. So addressing that aspect as well as the spiritual aspect of sexuality and intimacy, which is a topic that we don't know, I would say. We don't make that connection naturally,
Yep.
but there's a direct connection with spirituality and sexuality. Just us talking and devising a plan, a coaching program that encompasses all of those factors with sexual health. We came up with the Woodsman Group. You are a coach in the Woodsman Group, and just talk about your role as a diet and nutrition coach in the Woodsman Group and your philosophy on how food affects your sexual health and performance.
All right. Yeah, great. I'm just thrilled and blessed to be a part of the group. It's an amazing group of coaches. I'm being surrounded by such amazing men.
We should say who's in the coaching carousel, so to speak, too, just so people
Yeah,
understand.
it's go ahead.
You, Neil Davis, who is a personal fitness trainer who comes up with a tailored exercise program for each of the men. We have Joey Kibble. Some of you guys know him from Take Six, but he also has another health ministry with dealing with trauma and also with divorce care. And so he's got a wonderful mental health assessment tool that I've gone through. He's actually coached me, and it's helped me tremendously kind of understand why I operate the way I operate. So all the men have access to that and go through that with him. And then we have Dr. Wesley Knight, who literally wrote the book on spirituality and sexuality. He actually has a course that he goes through with the men, how to align yourself with the divine as well as know yourself in that context. Because if you don't know yourself, how can someone else know you? And how can you be intimate with someone if you don't even know yourself, right? So those are the components. And obviously myself doing the urologic assessment, evaluation, and lifestyle tips, diet and sleeping and de-stressing and all that stuff. And so it's a comprehensive program. But go ahead,
Yeah,
talk
well, I
about
mean,
your role.
like I was saying before, I mean, when I was introduced to the other coaches and learned about their backgrounds and spoke with them and listened to them, I was just amazed and blessed to be surrounded by such amazing mentors. And so you had asked me to be a coach, and I gladly accepted, was honored to accept. And where I found myself was to try to kind of to create little bridges in kind of all of those through food. As you know, I speak a lot about how, in particular, men, because we have these lifestyles and jobs and hustles, and whether we're caring for family or ourselves, what have you, the stress is tremendous.
Hmm.
And we don't always talk about it. Sometimes we run away from it. Sometimes we insulate ourselves from it. But the point is that I really believe that cooking for yourself and learning how to cook, or learning how to cook one or two things, or just having some go-tos, but cooking in general is very therapeutic,
Hmm.
and it can relieve a lot of stress, but it
Hmm.
also can create some amazing positive emotions when you eat your own food.
Mm.
It has this, your brain transforms into, I did this, so it's an accomplishment, and then you just kind of grow from there. And so my mission as a coach is to break the barrier down from people that don't know how to boil water. And I don't say that to be critical,
Right.
but some people just have never really gotten there. So I want to break that barrier down. But then once that's broken down, or if they're already past that, it's then to teach them about what food is and how it works within our bodies, and how it can actually change your day-to-day life. I think
Hmm.
that we don't put enough emphasis on what we put in our bodies. I will say to you that a phrase that we've probably heard a million times and everyone knows it, but until you really, really, really experience a health scare and you find out what attributed to that scare, this phrase doesn't really come to light. And that phrase
Mm.
is,
Come on.
you are what you eat.
Well,
I mean,
well, a lot of us are chicken. Yes, come on now. Come on now.
it's just so factual.
It's true. It's true.
You know,
Yes,
your
yes.
body is only what, you're responsible, right? You
Can I
know,
can I break that down
yes,
scientifically
please. Yes,
even?
please.
So your body, your DNA, your cells need fuel. So it is so important that fuel your cells with. I mean, you're constantly making DNA, you're constantly making proteins, amino acids. And if all you're feeding your cells are junk, that's what you're going to get out.
Yep.
And so we really have to start thinking about our bodies in a different way and really start treating them like high-end Maybachs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, because I mean, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. God didn't make junk, and so He didn't design us to take in junk. And so, if you can put the best stuff in you, you will operate at your best, and that's what we're saying here. You are what you eat. So, yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on for sure. And I think, unfortunately, all the money, the Food and Drug Administration has really dropped the ball because of money. Everything's wrapped around money. I mean, profit, profit, profit. And so we are, it's hard to find anything in the store anymore that doesn't have a bunch of junk in it. And no one has the
Yes,
time to look at the ingredients, even if you can understand the ingredients, let alone read them because the print's so small. I mean,
right,
every game is being played, right? And
right, right.
so scientific names to transfer to other names, there's 75 different names for sugar. And, so they're just
So
playing games.
how do we guard against that? Like, how do we help mitigate the eating junk? What is the take home that you would give a guy who's trying to eat better hopefully for his erections, because if you do that, it'll help with everything else. But what's the best advice you can give a guy that's listening to this right now?
The best advice is number one. I think we have to you either have to have someone that's partnering with you that is going to be able to, and willing to be able to join you in cooking, because uh, buying processed food, frozen foods, takeout. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a nice restaurant. Don't get me wrong; those are great, and I think those. I'm not putting. Let's put that aside. I'm just talking
Mhm.
about just going to the store or drive-throughs. There's an issue. So the first thing is we have to be able to say, I'm going to treasure my body and what I put in my body, and it starts with making some meals at home. And I would say the second thing is that when you go into the store, the first section of the store that you should spend the most time in is the produce department.
Amen.
I
Amen.
mean, you just stay there, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
and you can literally save your body from a lot of harm just by consuming vegetables and fruits and the proper nuts. That's all in your produce. And so that's where I
When
would
we're talking,
start.
you're talking whole foods,
Yes.
unprocessed foods
Yes.
that's got the most nutrients than anything else. And one other word about that, when you're talking about cooking these things, it's important not to overcook things, right? And over process. And a vegetable is a vegetable until you fry it, deep fry it, right?
A- Absolutely. And again, getting back to different cultures and the way we have generationally have been taught how to cook certain things, I'm trying to help people reverse some of that. I know a lot of people that have cooked all their lives, but I will go over to their homes, or they will maybe come and have dinner with me, and they'll be like, "That is the best broccoli I've ever had." And I said, "That's because you're tasting the broccoli. You're getting the nutrients, you're getting the vitamins, you're getting all the goodness from it,
Yes,
because I didn't
yes.
cook it down to where it's mush, right?"
Right,
So
right.
overcooking things is a huge mistake that people
Hmm.
make
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
vegetables in particular. And so, to your point, whole foods, exactly. Anything that doesn't have to, you don't have to look and see what the ingredients are, you're in pretty good shape, right?
Yes, that's a good rule of
That's where
thumb.
you start. And
Hmm.
so my role as a coach, to wrap it kind of all up in a bow, is to basically help facilitate the gap between the supplement and learning how to better practices in cooking. If you are a cook today, better practices, or if you just need help with getting started, breaking down that barrier, that intimidation, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you not be afraid. And I'm also here to teach you and to walk you through what to look for in the stores. You and I have we talked about an assessment for new people that come into the program, and I came up with an assessment of basically what's in your fridge, what do you eat day, basically Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday, whatever,
Hmm. Hmm.
and what it does, that alone, if you're honest with me and you really want help, I can look at that assessment and I can break that down and I can tell you, okay, well, you're a C digestive, and we need to get that to a B plus A. And the way we do that is we got to cut this out, we got to cut this out, and we got to cut this out. And then I'm going to tell you, and you're going to substitute this, and this.
Hmm.
And slowly, because of your honest assessment, I'm going to be able to help you get to where you need to go. And then, along with the naturally amend supplement, now we're on a road to success. I mean, we
Cooking.
are on a
Yeah.
road to beautiful, beautiful health. And the
Yes. And
combination is amazing.
it's sustainable. And that's the thing.
Absolutely.
We're looking for transformative changes, that's something that you can sustain and maintain. And the whole reason behind this is, and as a urologist, I see so many men who have these underlying conditions that contribute to erectile dysfunction.
Yep.
And a lot of it can be controlled with diet. That's just the bottom line. We're not into just covering things up here, take a supplement and you'll be good. No, like we want you to be good for life, right? And to live out your best and longest life. And when you do these things and when you have this coaching, and you get this education, it will empower you to do better, to make better food choices, to eat intentionally, to be more mindful about what you're putting into your body, so that you can operate at a high level. So, just
I will say this though, and I think it's important for the listeners to hear this, and why I was so glad that I was able to fit in with these coaches, because we all are kind of connected to one another. You know, the spiritual piece fits with the mental health piece. They all fit together. And the reason I say that is because if you're stressed out, okay, you know, that could absolutely affect your diet,
oh my
right?
goodness, for
And
sure.
and and what I want everyone to hear right now, because I think it's important to be transparent. I, as someone that was addicted to alcohol, the first thing that we go to replace the alcohol is anything with sugar. In particular, ice
Mm,
cream is like the number one thing.
mhm.
And it does not get addressed in rehabs. It does not get addressed in the rooms. It barely gets addressed at all. But being pre-diabetic, or even diabetes in general, is a very, very, very major thing for people with alcoholism.
Wow,
And
yes.
so when I find myself unconsciously, now it's not a conscious thing, getting into pints of ice cream, like just like without even paying attention, I know something's off balance, right?
Mm, mhm,
And I know when I eat a lot of ice cream, I'm unbalanced, something's off.
mhm,
And so you and I had a conversation. I've confided in you, and I don't mind talking to everyone listening, because it's important to know that I'm not invincible.
mhm,
I went through a health scare just last month, not paying attention to how much stress I was going through. And I was not, yes, I was still cooking for myself. Yes, I was still eating fairly well. My diet was okay, probably a C.
mm,
And because I was eating way too much sugar, I was having
mm.
cookies before bed. I was
Have
having
mercy.
ice cream after lunch. And what happens is we get in such a hustle and bustle of life that
Mhm,
you don't even recognize it until your body tells you, right? So
mhm.
that's when the body says, "Okay, I'm gonna wake you up. You're not listening. I'm gonna wake you up."
The body will tell you.
And it woke me up, right? So you
Yes.
get sick, you got to reassess, and boom, I knew immediately. I went back, and one of the things I will say that I have done, not as consistently as I should, but there are two things that I recommend. One of them has nothing to do with the other, but I recommend both, and they're both journals. There's a gratitude journal, which I think is unbelievable, because I think we
Mhm,
should be grateful for every great day that we have. But the other one is a food journal, and
mm,
it's really simple, because it not only helps you keep on track when you're eating right, but for me, it enables me to go back and look at where I fell off. And I
mm,
can pinpoint almost to the day and to the hour when I started on this process, to whatever I started to put my body, because I was stressed, I had anxiety, maybe even depressed, whatever the case may be, some kind of family problem, whatever. I can go back and say, I replaced that fear or whatever it was with ice cream or cookies or whatever. And so I have to
wow.
rewind and get back on track. And so I
Mhm,
think it's just important for people to know that no one is invincible,
mhm,
but it's important to have have the
mhm.
tools to get back on track. That's
Yeah,
key.
no, no, it is, and everything is connected. Your body isn't separate from your mind and your spirit. And so when one is off, it throws the other things off. That's why it's important to approach this holistically in order to optimize your health. You just can't. We would be doing malpractice if we just said focus on the physical,
Exactly.
and not the mental or the spiritual. So yeah, man, excited about the program. I love what we're doing. I love the synergy. I love that every man is committed, every coach is committed to empowering other men to live out their best lives. And listen, like you said, we're not, we don't have it all.
Yeah,
I learn from you, you learn from me, we learn
absolutely.
from each other. Iron sharpens iron. I always say
Yeah,
that, and it's true. And so the other thing is living within community is so important, being connected with like minded men,
Yes.
is crucial. I can't say this enough. I mean, you can do life alone. You could be a loner,
Yep.
and we
Yep.
all as men need our alone time,
Absolutely.
right? But in order to be your best self, you have to link up with other men,
No
particularly
question.
those that are going through the same journey or where you want to be, and you all have shared goals. That's so
Yes.
important.
Yes. No question about it. And
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to build. And I think that's what we are going to build. And I think, you and I from Jump Street, man, we just knew we had a mission to seek. We had a plan.
Yep, yep, yep. And this is just the beginning. Trust me, this is just the beginning. But just excited to do this with you and to have this journey with you, man. This is what excites me. This is what gets my juices flowing. I know you're the same way. We are doing purpose driven activities that are very fulfilling, that not only help us but help others. And so that is life. So thank you for your friendship, for your camaraderie, for the collaborations, for your mind. You are a culinary genius. The stuff we haven't even got to the stuff that you come up with the supplement, different things you actually cooking with it. We could talk
Yeah.
about that another time, but just thank you, Brian. I appreciate everything, man, and thank you for coming on and sharing your story and what we're doing. This won't be the last time. We'll definitely have you back again. Talk some more. All
My
right.
pleasure. Blessed to be involved.
All right, brother.
All
Talk to you
right. Take
later.
care.
All right.